All right, YouTube, what's going on? This is BoxingWave live from New Orleans. I'm going to do a 2014 wrap-up review. I'm going to try to keep it short. I do think Terrence Crawford was the fighter of the year, okay? I think the three fighters he fought were quality fighters, and he looked great in all three of the fights. The Gamboa fight was my favorite fight of the year, okay? Part of the reason why I think he was fighter of the year. That was my favorite fight of the year. Two fighters that I really like. I mean, I've always been a big Gamboa fan, and I was very impressed with that win. You know, I like the back and forth. I like the fact that Gamboa was winning the first 3-4 rounds, and Terrence Crawford switched it up and found a way to, outbox him and beat him down. That was best. That's definitely my best fight of the year. Now, there's a lot of letdowns of the year. There's a lot of things that's going on that I don't like. All right. I don't think overall, I don't think it was a great year in boxing. Okay, but you had your good moments in the year. Okay. What I do like is that the heavyweight division is on a rise. It was a good year for the heavyweights. Okay, Klitschko had that big win against Pulev. Okay, you had Stavern and Areola too. You had Povetkin and Takam. You had Brian Jennings is on the rise. You got all of these guys that's on the rise right now, okay? Deontay Wilder is, these guys are setting up the fight early this year, in 2015. The heavyweight division seems to be back. I know a lot of them, it's only a couple American fighters, a few, but, you had some great fights. You got some undefeated guys that look like they're competitive. I don't think any of them can beat Klitschko, but some of them could be a threat to him, okay? I thought Pulev was going to be a threat. We all see what happened in that fight. But it was a great performance. Klitschko came out with the Zangief robe. That robe was the best robe I ever seen. Golovkin's robe was my favorite robe until I saw Klitschko's robe in that fight, all right? But that was a great fight, okay? So you had the heavyweight divisions on the rise. What else you had that was good this year? Oh, man. It's not too much, It's like Kovalev had a great year, man. Kovalev had a great year. Kovalev, what he did to Bernard Hopkins, man. He just took, for Adonis Stevenson to have fighter of the year, he lost all of the momentum. What happened? He left HBO and everything just went down. Then he had a fight with Fafara and he almost lost. It's like, damn, Fafara almost beat him. Fafara gave him some hell in that fight. But he came back and won the fight. But right now, people have lost a lot of respect for Adonis Stevenson. I think while he was at HBO, that fight needed to happen. Okay. But I'm not going to go too far into that because I don't know what the money is going. I don't know what's up with the money. But based on what he was saying in his interviews, he had no interest in fighting Kovalev. He did not want to fight him. Okay. I'm not talking about the money. If I listen, I don't know if it's HBO for it. I don't know if these guys didn't want to pay him the money that he wanted. I don't know why is the exact reason why he left. But all I know is that he didn't seem interested. And even his recent post fight against the guy he just beat a few weeks ago, I don't even remember the guy's name. He didn't seem interested to fight Kovalev. He just don't. I mean, Kovalev just beat the guy that you were trying to get a fight with, Bernard Hopkins, and you're still not really talking about fighting him. You know when a fighter wants to fight a guy, and he just doesn't seem like he's interested. With that being said, these are some of the downfalls that happened this year. Stevenson, downfall. All right. You got to keep the respect of the true boxing fans, not the casuals. The casuals are going to come and go. But the diehard fans, you got to keep respect. I keep stressing this in all my videos. The diehard fans is who you got to keep. And when you don't take that fight that everybody wants to see, and when you're ducking, you're doing everything to stay away from that other fighter that's in your division that has a title, it's like, damn, like how can we, you went from fighter of the year, now Kovalev is like debatable fighter of the year, okay? Same thing with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia had a big year last year. He beat Matisse and Zab Judah. Beat Zab Judah in Brooklyn. Beat Matisse, a guy that everyone thought it was going to be. That was my first prediction video. That was my first YouTube video. Prediction for that fight. Everybody thought he was going to lose to Matisse. You came out, you beat him. It was a great performance. You was on a Floyd Mayweather card. Your name was buzzing. Then this year, you had a rough fight with Herrera. You know, Herrera didn't have a good year. You know, he had 2 fights that I thought he won. He had 3 fights. 2 of them, I thought he won all 3 fights. And he only got 1 win out of the 3 fights. You know, listen, it happens. You was out in Puerto Rico. You fought a guy that stylistically wasn't a good matchup for you. Okay? Wasn't a good matchup. And I thought he lost. You know, but with that being said, you know, you still could have bounced back from it. You know, whether you rematched the guy, whether you took on another good fight to take people's mind away, you know, fight Lamar Peterson. Beat him up if you can. You know, if you would have fought Lamar Peterson, beat him, people would have forgot about that. They would have forgave you for the Herrera loss. Instead, you go and fight Rod Saka, a guy that's not even ranked. You know, and now it's like, that was months ago. And you don't even have a fight scheduled right now. You know, so it's like, man, what's going on? Danny had a great year, and now he's like, with this whole, you know, he just seems like he just, I don't know, like he, you know, I don't want to go into the whole Al Heyman thing with the fighters right now. I don't want to go into that, but there's definitely a pattern. I think we all know, you know, taking on fights, not really fighting names or tough fighters, but still getting paid well to fight bums. And it's okay to fight a couple of guys that's not really. It would have been cool if he fought Rod Salka, if he fought 4 times this year. You know, Golovkin will take a couple of fights that's not like really like a big fight. But he's fighting 4 times a year. It's a difference. So anyway, it wasn't a good year for Danny Garcia. You know, Charlo Twins had a rough year. You know, both of them had a championship opportunity, didn't get it. You know, Carlos Molina pulled out of the fight with Jamal Charlo. He didn't get the championship IBF title. And then Jamel Charlo didn't get the fight with Demetrius Andrade. And I already made a video talking about that and how I feel about that. You know, Andrade, you know, this is the new pattern. This is the new culture in the sport where guys want the big fights. Once they get a title, even before they get a title, they're already calling shots. You know, like, I'm a big name and you're not a big name, and what can I get from this? Well, the guy is a top fighter in your division. Like, why not take him down? You know, not trying to diss Demetrius Andrade because I like him, but he won a vacant title against Vanes Monterosyan. He didn't even beat the champion. He won a vacant title and got dropped in the fight. You know, and he's already like, well, I only want, you know, and the junior middleweight title. I said I wasn't going to talk long, but now I'm talking. The junior middleweight division is a mess right now because you got everyone trying to fight a guy that doesn't even have a title. Everybody wants a Canelo fight. No one wants to fight each other. You know, and Canelo doesn't even hold a title. You know, so, you know, everyone is in limbo right now in the division. You know, Lara fought Canelo. Most people thought he lost, or Lara won the fight. You know, Canelo got another questionable gift win. You know, people think he lost to Trout as well. It's not good. Like, the division is a mess right now, you know. Floyd still has 2 belts. He's not fighting anyone at 154. No one at 154 is even on his radar right now. So you got a division that is just a lost division. You didn't even have many championship fights this year. All you had was Brian Rose and Demetrius Andrade, you know. He had his one defense. Carlos Molina finally came back in the ring. He didn't even look like himself. He came back with hair, and he fought horrible against K9. You know, K9 has a title now. Hopefully we get see a fight between Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Andrade or somebody. But, you know, the division is a mess, you know. Then you still got a mess at 122 with Rigondeaux, and none of these guys want to fight Rigondeaux. So, You got Quigg, you got Frampton, you got these guys that don't want to fight Rigondeaux. Um, so anyway, as a whole, the year had some good fights. I mean, you're always gonna get that every year in boxing. You're gonna have some amazing fights, but it was a lot of fights. There was more bad than good this year, because I can only think of bad. You got guys pulling out of fights. Your whole thing with the mess with the UK fighters, Tyson Fury. David Haye pulling out a fight a second time. Chisora pulling out a fight a week in advance. And then what's the name? Tyson Fury pulled out of the Ustinov fight. When that happened, it's just a mess of a lot of fights being canceled this year in all divisions. All divisions. It's always happened, but it was on them. It's just like people was just pulling out of fights left and right this year. Pay-per-views weren't that great this year. Not for the numbers. I'm just talking about the card. Canelo versus Angulo. Angulo did not show up. Okay, 2 of the fights on that card got canceled. The Charlo fight and what's the dude's name? The lightweight name. Figueroa fight got canceled, and that was a pay-per-view. I think all you had was the Leo Santa Cruz fight. I think I can't remember, but that fight was a disaster because Angulo just didn't show up. Okay, Floyd Mayweather fought Maidana, but the card wasn't that great. The overall card, the first fight was good. The Floyd Mayweather Marcus Maidana fight was good, the first one. But out of the pay-per-views, I guess the Tim Bradley, Tim Bradley, they were good, decent fights. The Tim Bradley and Manny Pacquiao's second fight, that was a good fight. That was a real good fight. But as far as the cards overall, they're not that great, And then you had Mayweather and Marcos Maidana 2. It wasn't a great card. You had Cotto and Cotto and Martinez. Martinez didn't show up, He's still fight injured. I think I didn't think Cotto was going to win. I'm glad he won, but I didn't think he was going to win until the fight. But, this pay-per-views, they need better quality pay-per-views, because when you have regular cards that are better than the pay-per-view cards, these December cards be stacked just like last year. Last year's December cards were better than the pay-per-view cards. They got to change that. But shout out to ESPN. ESPN stepped up, man. ESPN had some good cards this year. ESPN had a lot of good fights this year, all right? Definitely. I'm glad that they, I want them to keep having championship fights on ESPN. And we all waiting to see what happens with the CBS Al Heyman deal. Okay, but I hope Al Heyman doesn't go into the same pattern of just putting a bunch of big names on, like the last card, the Golden Boy card recently on Showtime, where it was Amir Khan, Devin Alexander, and then it was a big name fighter against a journeyman or an average fighter. Every other fight on there, Victor Ortiz, Abner Marvez. You had the Charlo twins, Jamel Charlo was supposed to fight Andre. He packed out, so he ended up fighting some random guy. It was just a bunch of big names on the same card with no good quality opponents. Just a bunch of big names, except the main event. All right. So we gotta like, the boxers gotta change this whole. But like Amir Khan, let me bring him up. I'm hearing Amir Khan in interviews leading up to the Devin Alexander fight. Devin had to agree to my terms. This fight is on my terms. I'm the A side. I'm like, dude, it's a regular. Relax. It's a regular Showtime card. It's not a pay-per-view event. Okay, you're not fighting at a huge venue. This is not a big money fight. Like, calm down. He's talking about terms and A and B sides. So I'm like, Amir Khan, relax. Like, he gotta relax. I like him, but he gotta relax, man, because he trolls. You would think he's trolling in his interviews, and he's not. He's dead serious. He talks like a big shot already, and it's like, yo, dude, relax. He's talking about you, and I'm not saying the fight was a good fight, a good matchup, but he talks as if he's a superstar already. You know, and that's everybody's following Floyd's pattern, but don't have Floyd money, don't have Floyd resume, don't have Floyd's titles. They haven't put in the work that Floyd put in, and everybody, what's his name, was saying this the other day. What's his name? Boxing Beats and Rhymes was just saying this the other day. I was watching a video. I was listening to a video of him the other day, and he was just talking about this. And I've stated all of this before. Like, people ain't put in the work that Floyd put in, and they sitting here calling the shots. And I'm like, yo, relax. You know, you talking about A and B side. Dude, there's a Showtime card almost every weekend. You have yours now. You're the main event. Relax. Anyway, so we need a little less than that in the next year, all right? 2015 had potential to be a great year, okay? If these fights happen, okay? You already have Deontay Wilder fight coming up against Stavern. You already have, let me say it. Hopefully we get the Floyd Manny Pacquiao fight, okay? Hopefully we can get the Canelo Cotto fight. Hopefully we can get Kell Brook Amir Khan fight. You know, hopefully Keith Thurman will fight one of these top fighters at welterweight at some point. Okay, just not that. You know, you got Rigondeaux. You know, hopefully he's fighting one of the other champions at 122 or going up to fight someone at 126. Hopefully we get Lomachenko against Johnny Gonzalez or what's this guy that just beat Donaire. Oh my God, I can't think right now. It's just too many names circling in my head. But anyway, you guys know what I'm saying. There's a lot of great fights. You got Terrence Crawford on the rise. Oh, and how did I forget Mikey Garcia? You know, him and Andre Ward. Like, what's going on? Andre Ward is not even fighting this year. He didn't even fight this year. You know. Hope he gets his legal situation. I hope he's still interested in fighting, period, Because, you get so stressed out for this, he might just stick to being a commentator. Hope he gets back around to it, I hope Mikey Garcia gets back around to it. Hope Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. get back around to it. Getting into these legal issues with their promoters. I think we're going to figure out, I finally think... in 2015, I think we're going to finally get a unified heavyweight champion and a unified light heavyweight champion. So that's a start. Welterweight, doubt it. Junior middleweight, doubt it. Middleweight, doubt it. But at least in those two divisions, I think we're going to get one. All right, so that's a start. We finally try to unify. He's trying to get an undisputed champion. Hopefully see more of that. But anyway, I went and talked too long again. You guys always hit you guys. I'm gonna make a short video, and then I come on here and talk for how long is this? 18 minutes now. Jesus. All right. Anyway, make sure you guys hit subscribe. All right. Got even more videos on the way. All right. So shout out to you guys. Happy New Year's. Peace.